and Shakers panel. So, whether you're here for the panel, I'm coming back with some dope individuals. So these are people in the music, business, art, and entertainment industry, highly influential, and just doing the damn thing, if I can say that. So I will introduce myself first. I'm your moderator, Anthony Chambers. I call myself the creator's best friend. So that's the creator's best friend, your creator's best friend. I always try to be the creator's best friend. I do management, creative direction, styling, modeling, all the things, and I host with the top Caribbean media company in the world, Temple Network. So without further ado, I want to get into our guests. So please introduce ourselves one by one and pass the mic.
Hi everyone, my name is John Moskowitz, agent with Universal Attractions. We discovered James Brown many moons ago and book a variety of R&B and hip-hop artists.
Hello. Is this working? Hi y'all. Hi. Yeah. What's up guys? I'm Hala Marak. I'm a multimedia personality, serial entrepreneur, and wellness advocate.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, so I'm Nick Seal. I'm a DJ, producer, radio assistant producer, and the most interesting DJ in the world. I like to have fun.
My name is Kenya Gibson. I'm a health advocate, wellness coach. I'm also a media executive and media personality. So give it up for these awesome candidates. All right, so this question is going to go for everyone. So, whoever wants to start and pass the mic. The first question, you're all moving around like crazy, literally and physically, and all the things. So how did you first put yourself out there and really get the momentum going?
Why do we read it? I think I just allowed my work to speak for itself, honestly, and never keep my mouth shut when it came to things that I cared about. It was really never about me, but sometimes it's easier for people to resonate with you when you are the face of things. But it's really more so about what I'm trying to get done. I just happen to be someone who wants to get a lot of shit done.
Can you repeat the question? Make sure I answer it right.
Yeah, so with all the things that you're doing, how did you first start to put yourself out there and get that momentum started?
I kept going outside. I'm outside almost every single day. I'm outside so much, my sleep schedule is terrible. Like, I'm only home to eat, sleep, shit, and shower. And also supporting other people. So if I know another DJ or promoter or anyone having events, I make sure to go. I support the bar to make sure they get some money. And also who you associate yourself with. You can be a criminal by association, you could definitely be successful by association. So make sure you show up and support people.
I would say for me, doing all the things that nobody else really wanted to do and oftentimes doing it for free. That's how I really started my career and how I was able to break into radio and you know, just humbling yourself and learning, willing to be a support system to other people, willing to, you know, pay it forward. And I think like all those things are reciprocal and that's how you create other opportunities for yourself. Okay, thank you. Oh, that's because you skipped.
Well, for myself, the majority of our business is B2B, so 95% is really behind the scenes. So for myself, it was important to get out there because when you put a face to the name on both sides, it really helps and gives residuals.
Absolutely. All right. This kind of leads into my next question because we know that each and every one of us here in the world, all creatives wear a brand. So how did you take what you do in that profession and really turn it into a brand so that it was received from others?
I guess for myself is more referrals if I represent an artist and, you know, they're pleased with it, they refer me to another artist. So I do a lot of legacy R&B, so Montel Jordan, Maya, you know, Drew Hills, and, you know, if promoters or artists and the management know that we do good work, I get referred to another artist.
Yeah, I guess I would agree with you. Just like keep doing it and being consistent and showing improvement and bringing in good results. It's one thing to be known, but it's also a different thing to be known for quality. So no matter what I do, though I do a million things, when my name is attached to something, people know it's going to be cool, it's going to be dope, it's going to be fun, it's going to be impactful. So, yeah.
This is difficult for me to answer because I'm a little bit of a Nepo baby. My father's a DJ, and I grew up around DJs, so I already started at a point of expectation and full transparency, they all told me I was trash. So I was started up here, got brought down here real quick, and I went to college and reinvented myself completely. I started a radio show, and even then, I started from down here because my family, they did pirate radio. Statute of limitations, it's cool now. So, and also I had long dreadlocks, and I'm Jamaican, so I was branded as the Caribbean guy. No one wanted me to play hip hop. No one wanted me to play pop or anything. And I went to St. John's, where not a lot of black kids. So my first interview was Mr. Vegas, and Egyptian, and it was only the Caribbean guys that came to see me. So I had to prove that I'm not just in this box. So for me, it was constantly having to prove myself and show people that, hey, I can go into these different rooms and hold my own. So I think the key to building the brand is to keep reiterating and reinventing, because if you don't evolve, eventually you will go extinct.
And I'll add on to that. I think creativity is huge, right? Like creativity and ideas are the things that get you into those rooms and get people to take you seriously. And I've always learned that moving in the opposite direction of like where the industry is going and what the industry is doing is also been a way for me to be able to leverage, right? Like different platforms. So I think just not always going with the grain, you know, always going with the normal, what you think is going to be popular and mainstream, and like really betting on yourself and taking a chance, because people are paying attention. And I think that even with me, I'll borrow this term from Angelina Spicer. She's one of my homegirls. I became an accidental advocate. So when I went into the health space, I was not the healthiest person. I learned how to take care of myself. I learned how to eat healthy. I learned how to exercise. I learned how to educate other people in that space. And I think that you are your truest testament, right? So if you have a good story and you have a good testimony, people are going to buy that first. And if they can relate to you and that resonates with them, then those are the things that keep the conversations going and give you access.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so I saw a quote the other day and it made me run for my life. And it said, if someone followed you for the day, would they believe in your dreams as much as you do, or that you really want, you know, your passions? So I would love to follow you guys in a day in the life or a week in the life, because like myself, every day can be different. But what does a day or a week look like for you? So anyone looking to kind of not follow your shoes, but maybe do something similar, they know where they should be pointed, what direction they should go.
Well, I guess in my line of work, you know, from the beginning, we started Zoom calls, you know, following up on emails. It's nothing sexy, but it's when you have like interns, you want to show them it's not just all the glamour. There's so much stuff that has to happen before you actually see a completion of a show. And that's sort of what I do on a daily basis.
I wake up and, so my motto in general is finding success through finding yourself. So I wake up and tune into who Hala is today. The beauty of what I built for myself is I am like a free-form creative, so if I don't feel like it, I'm not doing it. But I do, after that, you know, I'm a very serious businesswoman, so I do answer a lot of emails and calls. I have creative marketing clients that depend on me and their content and all of that. I try to get that out of the way first half of the day. I also manage a space. I own a co-working space in Staten Island. It's a wellness-based co-working space called Build a Dream Incubator, pull up on me. And so usually I'm there. You know, you can only imagine what it takes to like build a brand, but also just manage the space. And outside of that, I make music, which luckily I created a space where all the things I do, I can do in one place. So I have a studio there, I create music there, I do my morning show. I have a morning show on Lit Live. It's an app that I do out of there as well. What else happens in a day? I don't know, I take meetings. And then I might have to be outside, right? I gotta go outside. I work out. It's a lot. You know, I just try to fit in as much as I can. But it really does start with how I feel. Like that's on a great day, and it's not always a great day. So sometimes, you know, you just, you know, nourish yourself and take care of yourself, and you gotta do the laundry and clean and be a human. So whatever works that day.
You found me around for the day, you're gonna think I'm on drugs. I wake up at 6, because I live behind God's back, to get to the station for 9. I'm always there at 9:30. Don't tell my boss. So I board up, and this is a producer for Angela Yee's show, Way Over Ye. So from 10 to 2, I'm running the boards, sound effects, music, microphones for her show. Right after that, I'm editing the show for the podcast segment, so that's another hour. After that, we have an interview, so I'm helping engineer that. Then after that, if I'm not working on my own music, the Navy album drops March 28th. I'm engineering my own music. Then I'm going to somebody else's event, supporting them. And if it's 2 events in one day, I'm going to both. Then after that, I gotta work out a little bit. So this is all until 9 o'clock. And then I'm going home. And so I see my bed at like 11 o'clock. Sometimes 12, sometimes 1. And somehow I'm up at 6 o'clock again.
Well, my body wakes up at 3 o'clock every single day, no matter what I try to do. I talk to God first thing before I talk to anybody and just take that time to have my space. Meetings, I'm usually in the city by 7 o'clock just because I live super far, and if I don't, then I'm sitting in traffic for like at least 2 hours. And it just depends on any given day. I mean, I used to be somebody who used to run myself ragged and try to be at this thing, that thing, and the other, but I really try to move in purpose. I pray about everything I go to, so if I feel like I'm not led to go there, I say no, right? I used to not be so good to that because I used to feel like I had to be everywhere just to be able to network, but I believe moving in purpose has allowed me to connect to the right people and the people that, I'm supposed to be working with, so I've kind of taken that pressure off of myself to be everywhere, be super busy. I love to sleep. My favorite thing to do is take a nap, so that's important to me in this phase of my life. It's just balance, right?
Love that. Am I on? Now I'm on. Okay. John. Yeah. No, did you say it?
Yeah.
Okay. You're just ready. I love it. Okay. So John, I was going to say, I love how you just talked about previously how it's not all glamorous, right? So I would love to know just some unexpected challenges that you face in your field that, people may want to know about. Maybe we don't want to know, but we should be warned.
Well, obviously I interface with managers or artists or promoters, and there's people that I book shows in Nigeria, I book shows in Poland, and you have to trust. And someone's like, yeah, I'm going to send the money, And the artist goes, where's the money? Or if you book an act like Ludacris or Rick Ross, they're going to ask, where's the money? Right. So you have to sort of hedge your bets and, keep both people happy. And that's sort of what I do.
Yeah, that middleman is not fun.
Yeah, it's not fun. I'm always the fall guy.
And someone has to do it.
Someone has to do it.
How about you?
Repeat the question, I'm so sorry.
No problem. So we were talking about how it's not always so glamorous, right? So what are some unexpected challenges that you face that, maybe we need to know about? Especially if you have a dope space that you're in, just a wellness space and a co-working space. So I'm sure there was a lot trying to put that together.
I think it's just like, there's a lot of challenges, just being a young entrepreneur, a woman entrepreneur, a minority-based business, just all of that, obviously. But I think the main thing is just putting yourself on the forefront as the face of your brand, because sometimes I'm not so well, sometimes I don't feel so successful, sometimes I don't feel like, all the things. But, you still have to represent and be the best brand ambassador of what you, practice what you preach. And so I think it's that, like just making sure that there is balance and that you're maintaining, and you're not just telling other people to. When your wellness becomes your business, sometimes it's hard for it to also be something that you do for yourself. But I feel like I'm figuring it out.
Some of the hardest challenges, well, one is getting people to take me seriously. As a DJ, I'm not flashy. I don't wear a bunch of chains. I don't wear the most name brand stuff. I honestly don't care. That's just the root of it. So I had to convince people that, hey, I'm actually very good. So social media has helped me a lot. Sitting next to Angela for the past 2 years has changed my life. Even though I come from a family DJ team, they don't take me seriously. So I had to convince them that they book me. No discounts. Also, too, negotiations. I feel like people have never really taught me how to negotiate money. I'm a kid of an immigrant. You always take what you got, and if you ain't get it, you ain't get it. Not even supposed to ask. I had a job interview once, and I was like, can we negotiate this salary? He's like, yeah, of course. I'm like, you can do this? Okay, cool. So, people want to book me. I say, here's the price, and they're like, all right, I'll get back to you. I never hear from them for years. So I think that's the biggest struggle, is knowing your worth, how to express it, and how to ask for it. And I think that's something that, as people, we need to invest more in. That's it.
Yeah, I think there's very little glamour to this business, to be honest with you. I've been in it for like 20 years, and as you work with a lot of different people, artists, other different personalities, you realize like there's a lot of fake and phony people in this business, right? And it's hard to find the real ones. I mean, I've been fortunate to come into contact with some really good people who I've had the opportunity to work with. They're far and few. Nick is one of them. I worked with Nick at Power for a while, and I'll say it's to say that not everything is all like what it seems, and you have to learn how to be true to you and move in those rooms how you need to move, get what you need to get, and don't compromise, right? Because when you start compromising and you try to do one thing to try to get to the next thing, you have to keep up with the compromise. So I know one thing with God, he moves low and slow, and I've been fortunate, and though I'm not where I want to be just yet, I know the path is there, and that when things come to full fruition how I see them to be, like there's going to be consistency and sustainability there, and I think that that's super important to focus on that as you continue to build your career.
Yes, thank you all. Okay, so I'm going to ask you individual questions, starting with John. All right, so who was your first major client or opportunity, and what was that experience like? And is there anything that you learned then that you still apply today?
I would say as an agent, my first client that I think sort of gave me a name was I sort of rediscovered Sheila E.
Okay.
So it's like, what does that mean? So, a lot of acts take time off. So she didn't work for 5 years, and I reached out to the manager and built a relationship and then got her back on the road, and then she just took off. So that was sort of like a stamp that allowed me to book other artists.
I love that. I manage an artist in the jazz space, so she's doing the damn thing. So you did your thing. Oh, sorry, my bad, girl, that was on me. Okay, so I see that you have a lot of different interests and passions, like myself and a lot of people in the room. So how do you balance it all and make it make sense? And it doesn't have to balance, but it doesn't have to make sense.
Right, well, that's a hard question for me because I'm still figuring that out. I think it's just like do the things and hold space in the places and with the people that value you. I've been in the industry for about definitely 10 plus years now. And I just feel like I've been saying 10 plus years for like 4 years, so maybe 15 years now, I don't know. But, for me, it was just like I was so sold on like the smoke and mirrors of it all. Like if I'm gonna be a personality, that means I'm in front of a mic, I'm hosting an event, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then I realized like, I'm also a personality when I'm walking into this meeting. I'm also a personality when, holding space for other people on my show. I'm also holding personality when I'm painting. I am the art, I am the thing, So when I came to that realization, it helped me start to discover balance. Like she said earlier, like we come from a place where it's like we feel like we have to be everywhere. And it's really like, no, actually, the less you're seen, the more you're respected. And I'm going to pull up when I'm needed. And you can count on me to do that. And you know what I'm going to do when I get there. So.
Yeah, she said exclusive. We love it. Okay, Nick.
What's up?
Hey, so music is universal.
Yeah.
What unexpected opportunities have you gotten for music, and how did you expand on that?
The most unexpected opportunity I got for music, DJing for Oprah and Gail. That was, right? I was like, shit! Oprah pays very well. So, yeah, that was the most unexpected. And how did I expand on that?
Well, maybe not that one, but
Okay.
maybe there's some opportunities you got and you then took it to the next level.
Okay, so interning, definitely. I interned at Hot 97 when I was in college. They didn't hire me, but I still made friends. I think that's the best thing. As much as we hate to admit it, nepotism does run the world. Make a friend everywhere you go. Even in this room, if you don't leave with 3 contacts, what did you do? So that was before the pandemic. They didn't hire me. They hired me after the pandemic. Angela and Power 105 came through, and I took the opportunity. Made friends with DJ Sus1. That's how I met Kenya.
Yep.
So I met Hollow. And DJ Sus1 was like, hey, I'm gonna be late to this event. I can't tell you what it is, but if you could just do the first hour for me, that'd be great. I said, all right, cool. Turns out it was Gayle King's 70th birthday. And funny thing about that is, he called me the day of like, hey, my first event canceled, so I'm gonna do it. So I was like, he's about to cancel on me. I was excited. I had my set list ready. He was like, nah, still come through. I was like, my guy.
Very good.
Came through, he's doing all the old school things that like, listen, I don't know any Afrobeat. You got it? I did 2 hours of just straight Afrobeat music. Dave Chappelle dancing with his wife. I'm like, yeah. Got the picture of my logo. I'm like, yeah. Then Oprah hands me an envelope. I'm like, yeah. So yeah, just make friends. That's the best advice.